What's up, guys? Welcome back to Echoing Theology. I'm psyched to have this episode 11, with a good friend of mine, Jacob Hopper, who is an Echo 19. Funny enough, I'll have him introduce himself, but funny enough, Jacob and I knew each other before the Echo program. So, welcome to the podcast, Jacob.
Thank you. It is indeed a joy to be on here.
Great. Great. So if you can just start by just telling us a little bit about yourself and give us a background of who you are, that'd be a good place to start.
Sure. Yeah, so I'm from the great diocese of Peoria in Illinois. I grew up there, spent most of my formative years within the Catholic school system there, K through 12. Went to Holy Family, and then I went to Peoria Notre Dame High School, where the illustrious Bishop Fulton Sheen went as well. So we weren't classmates, but we did go to the same institution. So that's kind of our claim to fame right now. And his body resides in our cathedral, which is really cool. And then after that, I went to St. Ambrose University for a year, played lacrosse there, which was a blast. And then I took a year off to work as a carpenter and as a landscaper, and then I transferred to Illinois State, where I got my degree in agriculture. And from there on, I went to seminary for 2 years, where I met Dale and at Mount St. Mary's, which I will be heading back to on Friday for a little weekend trip. So I'm excited to go back to see the guys. I'm the youngest of three. I have an older half sister and older brother. They both live in various parts of the country. My sister's in Arizona. My brother is in Wisconsin. So it's a little bit about me.
Great. Yeah, no, that's a good place to start. Um, well, definitely enjoy your trip out to the Mount. Certainly let the Mounties know I said hello.
I will indeed. Yeah, it's a great place.
So, how did you initially find out about the Echo program?
I found out about the Echo program when I was in undergrad. I had a friend who went to St. Mary's College, and she had told me about the ACE program, which is a master's in education, similar to Echo. And she was just telling me about that because I didn't know what I was doing post grad, and so she had kind of also mentioned Echo, but I put it away. And then when I was getting ready to leave seminary, I started to research grad programs in theology, and stumbled upon kind of the top, like Steubenville, the Augustine Institute, and then Echo popped up as well. And Monsignor Hines, the academic dean at the Mount, is a priest of Fort Wayne South Bend. And so I dropped it by him and asked him what he knew about the program. And he's like, well, actually, I teach there in the summers, and I think it's a great program. So his stamp of approval was really all I needed to go ahead and start applying for it.
Great. Yeah, big shout out to Monsignor Hines. Great guy.
Mhm.
Uh, I do know right now that if we were still there, he would tell you to get a haircut. But I like the hair.
He still does. He
You
still
know, he
does.
still does. Okay, well,
Oh
it
yeah,
looks
don't
good.
you worry.
Good. I wonder if Dom is still rocking that. You know,
Uh, Probably not. I don't. The
probably
mullet
not.
is outlawed. He had it over Christmas break, and then
I
he
saw
had
it.
plans
Yeah,
to cut it again.
yeah.
So
No, indeed. So I guess my next question was going to be what convinced you to decide to apply to Echo, but I guess you kind of just answered that with Monsignor Hines' approval.
yeah, it was not only his word that I took, but as I looked into that program more and more, I knew that leaving seminary was what I wanted to do, but I also knew that I still wanted the aspects of community life, and the Echo program really was the only one that I found that kind of offered that as built into the program. And so the idea of communal life, their focus on spirituality, and then lastly, the cost, since it's free, and hadn't worked in 2 years since I was in seminary. I was, um, yeah, excited that I wouldn't have to take loans out, and that was really a big selling point as well.
Yeah, definitely big. That's a big thing too. I would say big incentive. Um, so on this podcast, we kind of talked about how the placements work and all of that. So where are you currently placed, and what type of ministry do you do in your placement?
I am in the Diocese of St. Petersburg, which is in Florida, not Russia. And I also live in Tampa, so not on the beach or close to the water. Bit of a misnomer when I got the call that I was coming here. But I work in a pretty small parish. We have about 500 people on a given Sunday, and yeah, 500 people, not even 500 families. I know in Houston that is non-existent. But I work here in the Office of Faith Formation, and so I teach confirmation to the high school kids, and I run their youth group, and then I help out in the various um, aspects of faith formation. Mostly a lot of paperwork. I help our DRE. You'd be amazed at how much paperwork is involved in sacramental prep. So I do a lot of that, and then also we help run a mission church, Santa Maria Mission, that is just 9 minutes down the road. So there's a food pantry there that serves the greater community. And so I work there on Tuesday mornings, and then Tuesday nights we do faith formation there. So this last year I helped with RCIA for the kids, and I also help with the confirmation class. So I teach sacraments over there as well. And that's kind of the scope of my ministry, but then I also just um ministry of presence has been pretty big for me just to be able to get to know the people, get involved in the lives of the parishioners, and yeah, help out in other areas as well.
No, that's great, man. That's great. You kind of got your hands in a lot of different cookie jars, it sounds like, which is
I do.
good. And kind of working in a mission church too. I think that might be a unique opportunity for you, I think, within
Hmm.
Echo, because that's not something that all of us do. I mean, you said you guys serve 500 people in general, people, not families. Where this parish I'm working, which I think is on definitely the higher end compared to Echo people, but it's 9,200 families registered, but that's not counting unregistered people,
Right.
and there's many of them, so
Hmm.
probably if not more. So um, yeah, no, it's very unique. And then kind of to your point on the paperwork, I'm not sure how what your experience was, but we were cleaning out an office when I first got here, and we were finding like not baptismal certificates, but like sacramental prep documents in an office from like 1997,
Yeah.
and it was like my nickname coming in here was Shredder Boy because it was just like that was my
Right.
job for the first couple weeks.
Yeah. There's moments in like May or post Easter, different times of the year where work kind of slows down a little bit. And so when that happens, I'll just go grab a file box and start shredding it. So it's a nice way to kill some time, honestly, at the end of the day. And yeah, I've had the same thing. It's like, why did we keep signing sheets from 20 years ago? I don't know, but now we have to shred them. So
Right? I mean, these people have kids at this point,
yeah,
right?
right,
So
exactly. So, yeah,
it's
it was
really
quite fun to just go through and clean up. It always feels good once you've cleaned something.
for sure. For sure. It's a good spiritual way to look at things, but also just a real practical physical thing as well.
Hmm.
So for you, what has been the best part about Echo in your 2 year experience so far?
The best part about Echo for me was the summer formation. So we spend the 2 months, June and July, at Notre Dame's campus. And it was great for me because I developed a real love of learning when I was in seminary. And so to be able to continue that in a really intense way over those 2 months, filled that kind of desire that I had to learn more about the early church and just the writings of various theologians, and to be able to like spend time with some of the greatest minds in Catholic theology at Notre Dame is pretty incredible and an opportunity that not many people get to experience. And then also on the flip side, the environment. I'm from the Midwest, so I love going back home. And the environment, the climate, getting to go to Lake Michigan, which is basically the ocean without salt water, is yeah, it was super fun for me to be able to do that with my classmates and my community. And there's not a lot of stress of like the work that needs to be done. And I was talking to my roommate Zach about it. We both worked at summer camps. And so the summers really have kind of a summer camp feel to it,
Yeah.
which yeah, makes it a lot of fun, and you don't stress as much about the amount of papers that you're probably not writing right now. So
That's true. That's true. I mean, we have certainly talked about the schedule here. It's like, you miss a day of class, you miss a week's worth of content.
right.
Professors are they understand the schedule. I mean, it's just not, when you're in class for 5 hours a day, the last thing you really are able to do is spend another 6.5 hours of homework on, that
Hmm.
evening. So, I think you're right. There's definitely a good balance there. But the environment's been really, really good, even in just the first year of Echo. But I'm sure it gets better in the second year, and
Yeah.
uh, certainly different because you have a whole other class coming in too. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a shift. Um, so what advice would you give somebody thinking about applying to Echo?
I would tell them to just apply, whether or not you're like sold on it, whether or not you have um any idea what you want to do. There's a girl that just got accepted into Echo. I met her over interview weekend, and she wants to go to med school, but not yet. And so this is kind of her in between time. And that's where I was too. I always wanted to do some sort of mission work, and that's why I'm grateful that I was placed where I was because I do have the mission. So I can kind of go there as my little mission desire gets filled over there.
Yeah,
And so whether or not you like want to teach or you want to work in catechesis, um, it's just a great opportunity to come and spend 2 years working and living within the church and to really get some hands-on experience. That's another reason why I wanted to do Echo over a purely academic program was because of the hands-on experience we receive. And so my advice is just to apply throughout the process. I was leaving seminary and so I was talking to my vocation director about it. I was, Scott Boyle, the the recruiter for Echo.
basically vocations
Yeah,
director.
pretty much vocation recruiter for Echo. He was like, "Oh, I see you're in seminary. I won't accept anything until you tell me that you're approved by your vocations director to do this." And so I was really moved by that he had that kind of foresight. And so at every step of the way, I asked for more permission from my vocations director to continue this application, and he gave me the yes every time. And so throughout the application process, it was really a good discernment for me to know that this was going to be the right fit and know that this was where the Lord was leading me. And so, yeah, I was pretty moved by the questions they asked you, because it's not just like what grade did you get in this class in undergrad, and it's not in that sense really the academic portion is not super big. They want to know that you can complete grad school, but whether or not you've had a theology class doesn't matter. And so my advice is just to apply.
Great. Yeah, that's good advice. Certainly just jump, into it and see kind of where the Lord calls. So for you specifically being an Echo 19, because I'm not asking really the 20s this yet, or really at all of the 21s, are there any thoughts to life after Echoes? We're hitting April and graduation for you guys is coming up in
2 months.
a few months here, 3 months, 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months. Yeah, June 29th.
Okay.
My post-echo plans are to do the Camino in June and then go to Ireland for a week. And so post that, I have not, unlike my classmates, begun the job search too heavily yet. I looked at a couple schools back home and yeah, I realized that I have a capstone thesis to write and a catechetical resource to develop, as well as my just life here still in
Sure.
Tampa. And so my community member Marie, I don't know if it's public knowledge, but I'll make it public, has accepted a job. And I know some of my other classmates have accepted either theology teaching jobs or grad programs or campus ministry jobs that they've accepted. And so that's where most of my classmates are headed, either to further schooling or to the high schools. I think one girl might be going to a grade school, but
Mhm.
for me, I am focusing on the Camino in June for 2 weeks and then Ireland for a week. And then I'm going to do some more hiking on the Appalachian Trail in July.
Right.
So yeah, the job search is not maybe to my this May has not begun yet, but that's all right. The Lord provides.
Definitely, definitely always provides, and the Camino is a great thing to focus on too. And I really admire that you're really, as you're starting to kind of the time is starting to shift. Your focus is still kind of in the mission, um, for lack of better, less pun terms.
Mm.
Uh, your focus is still kind of very present with the people that you're serving, and I've always admired that with you, with whether that was seminary or Echo. Um, so it doesn't surprise me at all, to say the least, that that's kind of where you're at. So um, no, that's great, man. That's awesome. That's great to hear.
Yeah, I know that I will not be back here. And so the friendships that I've made, I don't want to just like wipe off right now and say, yeah, I'm leaving in a month, so no sense in kind of putting any more effort into this relationship. And we have a mixed community, so we have two 19s and two 20s, and so it's good to like still live and be in the present moment with them as well. And I know last year I was getting kind of ready to be done with Echo because I had two community members who were getting ready to be done with Echo, so I didn't want to put that on Zach and Nicole either.
Mhm. How is that? This wasn't a question I really had in mind until you just brought it, but how has that experience gone for you guys, like having two 19s and two 20s?
Yeah, I think the 20s love it. They get to live with us, so I'm not sure what better community they could have, but Marie and I are pretty awesome. So, it's been a blast. It's been a joy for me. Last year, I was able to integrate pretty quickly into the young adult Catholic community here in Tampa because our previous housemates, Annie and John, had already lived here for a year and they already had friendships made. And so to kind of come into a place that's already established is always really nice. And then to learn from them about the program and to how to kind of navigate the different trials and tribulations that come up in parish life and to have them was great, was a great asset. And so I think Maria and I have tried to be that for Zach and Nicole, but also they have brought in a whole new level of life and fun into our community. So we go to the beach a lot more with them. We play a lot more sports than we ever did. We have just done a lot more stuff with the two of them because they brought in a new fresh dynamic. So that was it's been a blessing to live with them
Yeah.
um and it's been fun to live with Marie for 2 years and to kind of enter into life with her and watch her as she has grown and is now getting ready to get married in 3 months. And um, yeah, so it's been awesome to live with her too. So I've enjoyed the mixed community. I think Marie has as well, and I'm sure Zach and Nicole.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you four really, yeah, you four are a very good dynamic, I think. You guys
Hmm.
bring a lot of different gifts to the table, and those Disney World trips are also,
Always a blast.
what are you guys, like two
Got
and a half,
another one coming
3 hours
up.
from
Four of
Orlando?
us are done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, I just want to play a quick game with you, and then we can kind of close this up.
Sounds
Um,
good.
so I'm going to ask you about 10 questions, and I just want your quickest answer.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Best place to relax at Notre Dame?
The by the lakes.
Best food at the university?
Boom boom chicken salad.
Love it. Summer, fall, winter, or spring?
Spring.
Favorite author?
Michael O'Brien.
Favorite hobby?
Hiking, I guess if that's a hobby.
It's a hobby.
All right.
Current favorite gospel?
John.
Favorite place to visit in Emmitsburg?
Can you say odds? I don't know. The
I
Ambrose's
you
house.
can,
The
you can,
Ambrose's
you totally
house.
can.
Yeah,
Um, that was my low key one of
that's cool.
Saint who you want to learn more about.
Oh man. Peter Giorgio always.
Great. Current favorite passage.
Oh, it's in Philippians. It's where Paul says that I desire nothing but heaven right now, but I guess I have to stay here for the sake of you all, so I guess I will.
I guess.
Yeah.
I love reading scripture because I always feel like the phrasing is so eloquent, but just looking at them as people, I know there are other words probably being used.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Paul's like, I want to go to heaven, but I guess it's better for me to stay here and help you plebe, so
I
I'll
will
stay.
suck it up. And then best class taken from all of your college experience.
From all of my
All
college,
of your college experience.
I at Notre Dame, Revelation with Anthony Pagliarini, he opened the scriptures in a way that I have never experienced before. And yeah, introduced me to the Song of Songs in a new way that still sticks with me. I still think about the things that he said in that class, and it just it really made the Bible for me the living word of God, and like to be able to enter into all the various aspects, and it was incredible, absolutely phenomenal.
Great. Great. Well, Jacob, thank you for the time. Really appreciate you coming on Echoing Theology. Guys, this was episode 11. Check out episode 12 coming in very soon in the next couple days. Jacob, thank you again for your time.
Yeah, thank you, and anybody who listens, know my prayers for you.
All right, guys. Well, John Paul II, pray for us.